Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the happiest hour on earth. It is Thanksgiving week. We're excited. We've got some fun plans with family this week, but we just decided that tonight is going to be a thankfulness episode. We have so much to be thankful for, and we just want to highlight some of those things with you guys tonight. It's going to be maybe a little bit of a shorter episode, but we're super excited. And we did want to mention also, if you missed our episode last week with Cuckoo Culture, please go check that out. It was such a fun time with him. Fun. We had a blast. He is just the coolest guy. Like we had such a fun time having him on our show. It's a great episode. I myself had a fun time listening to it back. Yeah, so definitely go check that one out if you haven't yet. We also, if you didn't see, were guests on another podcast last week. Actually, this week, technically.
Yeah, sure.
We filmed it last week, but the episode aired this week. And we were on Market House podcast this week, and we love them so much.
Yeah.
We had an amazing time on their show. We got to know them so much better on the show, and it was a blast. So if you haven't listened to that one yet, feel free to do so. It would be on their Spotify or Apple Podcast. Such a fun couple, such a fun show. Go give them a follow and definitely check out their show. We are actually going to be hopefully having them on our show next week. So lots of fun guests happening right now. Yeah. We're super excited about it. So I believe we're going to be having them on next week. If all goes well, we're going to just kind of chat about their show and all about them. And then we're also going to be chatting for the main topic about Disney cruises, because they're pretty seasoned in that category.
Yeah.
And we want to pick their brains a little bit. So we're really excited to have them on. It's going to be a fun episode. So tune in for that. But with that, let's go ahead and jump into this week's episode.
So before we get into tonight's episode, we have a drink, and it's a special drink because it's a request from a listener. And we don't get these too often. We get them a little bit here and there. I think people we make so many that maybe we've already made people's favorites. But a listener that goes by on Instagram at DopeIt'sJV, he hit us up and said that he had an amazing drink in California Adventure at Bayside Brews, and it was a seasonal margarita. Weird that it's still on the menu, because I feel like this fruit is more of a summer fruit. Totally. But he said it was amazing. It's a seasonal watermelon margarita, and he said it tastes like one of those like Mexican candies, like those watermelon lollipops. And he said that it was so delicious, and he asked if we could make it. And
we gave it a try.
We did give it a try. We do have to say, JV, that
this is out of our comfort zone.
It's slightly different than what they made, because you can definitely tell that we're not like the biggest margarita fans, because we don't know that much about it. And when he told us that it was a chamoy and tahini rim, and I that was the first time hearing about chamoy, which is crazy. And so we bought chamoy, we bought tahini, and we thought we were going to be good. And then I looked it up the night that we were filming this, and it was like, oh, you have to make this chamoy paste sauce with the tahini. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know where to get this stuff. Went to a couple stores, couldn't find it. So we're like, you know what? Tonight we're just going to do a tahini rim. Yeah. So maybe we'll have to make it again and actually learn how to do the paste and get all the necessary ingredients. The other thing is the store did not have the watermelon lollipops that go in as a garnish, which is so fun, but I couldn't find them anywhere, which is such a bummer. But so we did make this. We do have this. And shout out again to JV. Thank you so much for requesting this.
Let's give it a shot.
Let's go.
Let's
Cheers. Oh, it's good.
All right.
Oh, man. Ooh. We're not like the biggest.
Tahini is not my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah. That's actually really...
It is good, though. The drink itself is actually really good.
I haven't had tahini in a very long time. I know, like, micheladas are huge right now. And I just can't do them. Yeah. But actually, the tahini on here is actually really good, because the watermelon kind of kind of.
Yeah, it eases it down,
eases
but
it down a little bit.
it's like a lime and tahini rim. So I just feel like it was like a lot at first when I took a sip because it's like
It's very like
super
buttery.
sour and like peppery.
Oh.
But yeah, the drink itself is pretty.
It's really good. We used fresh
tasty.
watermelon, so we blended it in a food processor, and then got the tequila and the Contro and that's actually really and lime. That's actually really refreshing.
It is a really refreshing drink, actually.
Oh man!
And this isn't something we would normally like see on a menu and be like, let's make that, because we're not really tequila people much. But thank you for helping us to step out of our comfort zone and make something we wouldn't normally try.
Yeah, and thank you so much for listening. It was so awesome that you DM'd us and interacted with us. It's always so fun hearing from people who listen to our show or maybe just follow our page. Super, super cool. So thanks again for that suggestion.
Yes.
Your support means everything. And with that, I think we have to talk about the first thing that we're very thankful for, which is our amazing listeners.
Yeah.
It still baffles me that people listen to us talk.
I know. Same
crazy.
here. It's we're like over a year and a half.
Oh my gosh, yeah, 71 episodes in.
Yeah,
Oh my
we're a while into this thing as podcasters. And to this day, it still is just like mind blowing to me that like people choose to listen to our podcast and like interact with us. And it's so amazing, such an honor to be a part of that community and to have just met so many of you guys. And we just appreciate you so much. You don't understand how much your support means. Every time we get any kind of a shout out on Instagram or a review on our podcasting platforms or on YouTube,
or just even a comment, like
anything,
yeah,
it's just, it means so much to us that people care enough to do those things, and it makes this whole thing worth it. I mean, there have been times where we've kind of just maybe had burnout and just felt like, oh, why are we doing this, and then someone will post something and it totally brings back our fire to keep going. And we've had a blast with it so far, and I hope it continues on for a long time. I hope you guys keep enjoying it for a long time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been a blast. So thank you all so much for your support. It really means more than you know.
It does. And if you're listening to this, like, let's say you've been listening to us for a while, or maybe just recently started listening to us, and you haven't like interacted with us on Instagram, like, we don't want to just be the only ones talking and you just listening. Like, definitely feel free to DM us. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time just because, work and our baby and all that stuff. So sometimes it's hard to stay on there and stay connected, but we will hit you back up. So if you're listening to us, take this as a sign to hit us up on Instagram or on YouTube, whatever you want to do. That it makes our day when you guys reach out to us. And
we love to hear from you guys. If you have questions about anything, if you have any requests for anything, whether it's a drink or snack for us to make, or a topic that you want us to talk about, like whatever you happen to have on your mind that you want to message us about, just do it. If you just want to chat, if you just have something on your heart you want to talk about, we'd love to talk with you.
Definitely. And then another thing too, we've mentioned this before in previous episodes, but through the end of the year, if anyone writes us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, hit us up as well, and we're going to send you guys some free merch, Happiest Hour on Earth merch, just as a way to thank you guys and just kind of give back to you guys. So it really helps out our show so much, and we just love hearing from people, and it's always a good time. So thank you to all of our listeners, our followers on Instagram, all that good stuff. You guys mean the world to us.
You really do. Thank you so much. Another thing that we're so thankful for is not only our listeners and viewers, but the people that we've been able to collaborate with on our show, that we've been able to have on as guests. That has been a huge highlight of this whole process of podcasting for me.
Yeah.
It's just having people on, like getting comfortable bringing someone on to interview has been so cool. I've always been kind of like a little bit introverted, not really great at like public speaking and that kind of thing. So to be able to have people on our show and just have to totally break out of my comfort zone in that area has been awesome, because I feel like I've gotten so much more accustomed to it still get some nerves, but it's gotten easier. And it's just been so amazing to get to have people on and talk to them about what they do. We have quite a few that we've done this year and last year, but we're just going to talk about a couple of the ones from this year, such as Darling of Disney, Ashley. She has been a huge supporter and just friend that we met through social media, I think, and getting to have her on was so much fun. We loved getting to have her as a guest.
And we'll be hanging out with her in January.
Yeah.
She's going to be coming up to
here,
our area,
up north.
which is going to be great. So, yeah, she was the first person that we met in the parks.
Yeah.
I believe that, was another Disney Instagrammer, Disney page. And we had so much fun with her, grabbing some drinks, going on Mission Breakout. So much fun. And then now she's going to come up to NorCal and we're going to hang out and grab some beers.
Excited.
So definitely follow her at Darling of Disney.
Mm-hmm. She's amazing. We're so excited to see her again.
Yeah.
Like almost next month, January, right?
Oh my gosh, crazy.
We're super excited. Another one was Soarin' Over Main Street, which is an amazing Mickey ear shop. Mickey Minnie, I guess it's kind of both. She's amazing. Daphne, the stuff she creates is
it's mind-blowing.
insane. She is so talented. She's just grown so much as a company. It was amazing to have her on when we did. She opened up her own workspace. It was happening like right at the time that we interviewed her. So it was so cool to hear about it. And she has like employees now, I think.
Yeah.
She has done so well for herself, and it was amazing getting to hear about the whole process when we had her on. So very thankful for that. Yes.
Come on.
Thankful for her. I think she got married earlier this year too, which was so exciting. We got to talk about all her wedding planning, which was fun.
It's a good year. She got married and she was a guest on our show.
Yes.
No, just kidding.
It's very, very exciting for her.
Does not compare to the wedding.
Another one though was Tattoos by Shannon, which was such a good interview, such a fun episode. I love Disney tattoos and still have yet to get one, but it is in the works. I'm planning it at this point, I think, but having him on was so much fun. Such a fun interview. Such a cool dude.
How he started tattooing, how he transitioned into pop culture and Disney tattoos. It was just awesome talking to him.
Yeah.
So cool.
That was a great episode. And I'm so glad that we got him on because I had wanted to get a Disney tattoo artist on here for a while. And I was so glad that he was so down for it. I'm
chill guy.
He's got a lot going on in his life and he's got a family and stuff too. And it was just he was down. He was so down to come on and chat. So it was so much fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from that, we have Riley on Main Street, who we love. She's got an amazing Instagram page. She's a Disney influencer, but she's the coolest person. We love her. We really hope to get to meet up in person one day soon. She's another NorCal person.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a couple of those on our page, so we're really hoping to get to meet up in person. But having her on was so much fun. She's an awesome person.
Yeah. Great Disney content on her page. She also just started her shop.
Mm-hmm. She's an esthetician.
I was going to say that word, but I just knew I was going to butcher it. I was she does lashes.
She does I think lashes are her big thing, but she does facials and lots of spa treatments. So
that's so
she's got an amazing shop. I follow that page of hers as well. And I'm always I need to take a trip to Benicia. I think that's where it is.
Yeah. What's her company called?
I think it's Samira Skin and Beauty or something like that.
Okay.
I could double check.
But shout out. Yeah.
Yeah. But she's amazing and she does amazing work. So definitely go give her a follow as well.
Yeah, for sure. And then from there, we had even more amazing people on. We had Gabby from Park Hop Tees, who we're ambassadors for.
Shout out.
It was, you're wearing the Mickey right now.
We just got this in the mail last week and I've been living in it. I have to say it's
so comfy. I haven't even worn it, but
it's so soft and so cozy. Nice. And if I could just not take it off, I wouldn't. It's so comfy. Absolutely love it. Love everything that they come out with.
Definitely. Yeah. Use our code if you're listening. Happiest15, all caps. You get 15% off. We're recording this Black Friday week. They're going to have some great deals. Go check them out. Love not only Gabby, but the whole family that runs this. Oh my gosh.
Such amazing people.
Yeah. The Buenos. Amazing. And yeah, they've just been there supporting us. They've given us, amazing shirts, and I don't know, it's just been great to partner with them. And so we talked to Gabby about how they started, where they get their inspiration from, a whole bunch of cool things. So shout out to her and the whole family, Park Up Tees, and listen to their story on our page if you haven't yet, because they're just incredible people.
It's an awesome story.
So great. And then we had Emily and Clayton from Make It Magical. Shout out to them. We had such a fun time. We've just been getting closer and closer to them.
Got to hang out in person finally, because they live literally 15 minutes away from us. And we finally made it happen. It was so much fun. We went and got dinner and brought our son along, and they were so chill about a toddler being along for our hangout. We had so much fun getting to finally meet in person, and
they're so sweet, and it just felt, sometimes you're like, I haven't met these people in person, what's it gonna be like, especially after the pandemic. I always feel a little more nervous around people, but it was just we've been friends for such a long time, and we just had a blast with Emily and Clayton. Amazing Disney podcast. Man, they are putting out just incredible episodes.
Much good stuff.
Definitely go give them a follow, and thank you so much for being on our show and for having us on your show as well. We love you guys so much. So
yes, we do.
Next up, another one, Cuckoo Culture.
Yeah,
our dude Lorenzo, just last week. We had such a fun time, and then after we recorded the episode, we just hung out and chatted for a while.
An hour, maybe.
Yeah, it was the best thing ever. Such a cool guy. Amazing YouTube channel. His in-park vlogs, but then he also does unboxings and all this cool stuff. The energy that you are looking for in a Disney vlogger.
Very infectious.
Yeah, very infectious. And then he came on our show to talk about, what it's like living in a Disney-made town, which is Celebration. And now we just want to go over there and hang out with him and go to the parks with him and stuff.
We're gonna do it.
So shout out again to Cuckoo Culture. We love you too, man. And then soon we're gonna have Market House on, which we were on their show last week. Amazing, incredible people. We just felt so comfortable being on their show.
Yeah, it was the best.
Just like everyone else here, just felt like friends, and we're trying to plan a hangout with them as well. Caleb and Caitlin, thank you so much for having us as your first guests.
We were honored.
Yeah, so honored. You guys are amazing, and we cannot wait to have you on our show. Shout out to Market House Podcast.
You guys are the best. We're pumped to have you on here.
Yeah, it's awesome. So something else happened over the weekend. Something definitely
major happened over the weekend.
Yes, something that Disney fans are very thankful for. A majority of the Disney fans. Yes. Definitely us. If you have not heard, which you've definitely heard if you follow the Disney community, Bob is gone and Bob is back.
Bob part 2. Bob Iger part 2.
Part 2. Yeah. So we had the Bob Iger in there for 15 years, 2005 to 2020. Then Chapek came in, and he just was doing his thing,
Not
running rampant and making all the Disney fans mad. And then return of the amazing
Bob
CEO.
Iger.
We are welcoming you with open arms.
Yes.
You are only here for 2 years, but we have so much hope that
so much faith in what you are going to do.
Set the company on the right trajectory. You have so much experience with this company and the vision for this company that Walt set out to do. Obviously with any CEO, there's going to be things that you don't. I was like, why did you buy Fox for that much? All this stuff. But honestly, he was thinking big picture, Disney Plus. Now we get to watch those movies, and I love that they're on there. But overall, Iger has just done so many amazing things for the Disney community.
So much more positive than negative. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we could both just go on and on about this topic. And I think we all pretty much have mutual feelings about Bob Chapek at this point. And there's not much I can really say that you haven't heard already. I think we all know that he has kind of flushed Disney down the toilet
Yeah.
in a sense. I think we've all seen the decline of the company, and more recently, just all the things that he had been saying and what was coming out about layoffs and then the comments about animation only being for kids and all these things that just happened. I think it was just like the straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah. And it was just time for him to go. And I never thought this day would come. I never thought that Bob Iger was actually going to come
I was
back.
like, I knew that Chapek was going to probably leave, but that Iger was coming back.
Yeah,
like,
it was a
what
shocker, but in the best way.
Yeah, Chapek was dealt a bad hand. Like, I understand that, but then it's not just that
to the extreme.
It's not that you just
though.
like have a rough time. He like says things when he's being interviewed, and he's like, every Disney fan's like, how do you say that? Why
would you ever say that? Like, I kept thinking to myself, like, what would Walt Disney think of this guy running his company? I don't think he would be very excited about it.
Oh no.
I think his vision was so completely off from what Walt Disney had pictured for the Disney company and for the parks and everything.
Yeah.
And I just think that from the beginning, he was the wrong candidate. I'm not saying he's a bad person. Like, I don't hate the guy. I'm just saying he was not made to run the Disney company, because as Disney fans, we all know what we want and we know what is important to Disney. And I think he did not comprehend it. I think he just had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah.
And he was all about the money. So it really has to be more of a balance. And Bob Iger had so much more of that knowledge.
And Bob Iger was a businessman. Like, he made his deals.
He made good choices.
Locked things down and all this stuff. Like, you know, he did rate, obviously, almost every CEO raise ticket prices. You have to do certain things, you know, like that. I read this thing, and it was actually very interesting, is that Chapek Iger he can't get rid of Genie Plus. He's not going to cut prices. You know, next year their ticket prices are still going to probably go up, but he's going to bring more value to them. So it's not like we're still going to have these things that we have to pay for, and we'll have to pay more next year and all this stuff. But the value, he's going to increase the value so that the price is actually worth it, which right now, the price is definitely not worth it. So he's going to try to do his best to still keep the company afloat financially, but hopefully have the right mindset of the Disney fans. And the other thing too that I think Iger already did today was Chapek had put like the financial side in charge of like any last minute or like any final decisions for certain things, while it was like the creative team had all that like final decision for a long time. But Chapek put it to finance. And then now that Iger is back, that one of his first things was saying, we need creative to really be in control of this company.
I love
Not
that.
just we have to make sure our bottom line's all good.
What does that say about him?
Yeah.
As someone that runs this company, that his first big move was to take the hands of creative people and make that more important than the financial side. Like, speaks volumes about his vision for the company, I think.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
you know, he's not a perfect guy. He makes mistakes in the company.
There's
like
going to be
anyone
things
would.
that we get. I'm sure there are going to be things that get us mad over the next 2 years.
Yeah, there always is. I'm sure.
Always is.
Yeah, there were things that happened while he was there that I'm sure we got upset about. It wasn't as like pinpointed at him because it wasn't in the forefront of our minds that he was new in there like Bob Chapek was, and like everything bad that happened, we were just like pinning it on Chapek. Rightfully so, because he did make a lot of those changes.
But overall, it's going to hopefully be a positive thing, because in his 15 years as CEO, it was mainly positive.
Yes, exactly.
And it's so good.
He really did a great job. I mean, even we were talking about like the show that was on for when Enchantment, the fireworks show came out, and they both were up on stage together, which I feel like must have been kind of tense personally.
Yeah. It was very awkward.
But yeah, watching them together, all I could think was just how much more like comfortable Bob Iger seemed than Chapek. It was like he feels so stiff, like he just didn't want to be there or like actually care about what was going on. Bob Iger's just always had this like warmness about him. Like he cares about that company.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. He's had such a legacy there. So it's almost like he he has to care for the company because he's so ingrained.
Yeah.
That's like his success has been with, first starting at ABC and then moving on to Disney.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I love it. I read his autobiography, and he's just a really amazing man. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah,
but
I forget too. But he always seems to kind of reflect back on Walt. Like I've heard him many times.
Even in all, like there's so many shows that feature him interviewing.
Yeah, and so many times he talks about Walt Disney and what his vision was, and he's trying to keep that alive. Like you can really tell that that's his goal within the company. So I just love that, and I'm very excited to see what he does in the next 2 years. Yeah, and well, it may not all be good, but I'm just excited to see how he readjusts after what we've been going through the last couple of years.
Definitely. So. Yeah. Super exciting. We're not going to go like super in depth and talk about what led to this and all that stuff, but I do know that DMSW podcast did an episode on this. Make It Magical is doing an episode on this, and then Market House is doing it as well. So if you want to hear a little more in depth, I think they're all kind of doing something a little bit different with this. Definitely go listen to their opinions because they're amazing people. Shout out to Johnny from DMSW.
Yeah.
You did it. You know all those meme reels against Bob Chapek. I think you definitely played a role in that. So thank you for supporting the people.
Yes. And so they'll all have episodes coming out, I think, tomorrow. By the time this episode comes out, throughout this week, talking about just kind of more in depth about what caused the switch of CEOs. So I'm personally excited to hear about it because I think they're all doing their research to figure out what exactly happened. Yeah. So
super excited.
We took kind of a big rabbit trail on this topic. I know we're talking about thankfulness and that is the main topic here, but that was some big news. We kind of had to dig into it a little bit. So apologies for that, but we had to do it. So that kind of leads us into what we wanted to talk about next, which is Walt Disney's Mickey Mouse. That's a big thing that we're thankful for. We actually just watched Story of a Mouse. Yeah. That just came out on Mickey's birthday, which was on Friday. We stayed up much later than our bedtime to watch this entire thing. We started it kind of just being like,
wasn't it after we recorded with Market House?
Yes, it was.
We were like,
we recorded it and it was still like kind of early enough. So we were like, we need to watch some like Mickey themed thing right now because it's Mickey's birthday, and we started it and we could not stop watching it. I was like, we're going to finish this. It's like an hour and a half. And it was so good, you guys. Do yourselves a favor and watch it. If you love Disney, even if you don't love Disney, which I think if you're listening to this, you probably do. But regardless, it makes people understand, I think, what it is that we love so much about Disney and Mickey and just the whole thing.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times, some Disney, I mean, maybe not every Disney fan, but, for us, like I don't just like walk into my work and be like, hey, like I'm a big Disney fan because, but you're afraid of, I don't know. You just know people in life that are like, wait, why are you like that much of a Disney fan? And then you watch things like Story of a Mouse and like the Imagineering story, and just seeing the cultural impact that Mickey has had on the world, symbol that there's still good left in the world.
Yep.
I don't know. Watch the documentary and you just feel those feels. You're like, this is what I want to show that person who thinks I'm weird for listening to Disney.
Exactly. Everything.
Loving Disney.
The old footage in that documentary was amazing of Walt back in the day when he was creating Mickey Mouse or when he was a kid. Like there was so much nostalgia in there. And oh my gosh. Yeah. Like you said, it just really showed how Mickey has always just been like a bright spot throughout history. Ever since he was created by Walt, there have been wars and the Great Depression and so many things that we've gone through. in the world.
Yeah, the fact that Mickey was before the Great Depression, that's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But through all of that, like, Mickey was always something that brought joy to people.
Mm-hmm.
And that just speaks volumes of why we love him so much to this day.
Yeah.
And every country loves Mickey Mouse. That's another thing that's in there. It's like he's universal.
Mm-hmm.
He transcends generations. And it made me so much more appreciative of what he stands for watching that documentary.
And one thing that's very interesting too, and I feel like I'm preaching right now, but here we go.
Let's go.
Sometimes in life, there's going to be disappointments, and you never know why things happen sometimes. And then if you give it a little bit of time, you realize that something more beautiful unfolds. Case in point, Oswald. Mickey created Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Walt created Oswald.
That was one of the points, is that there's such a connection. They're like,
Yes.
Mickey and Walt are almost tied to each other, and we'll talk about that in a second. But yes, Walt Disney created Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. And there's this whole thing. You guys know the story. Didn't really get too far, but then the rights got taken away from him. And he's like, this was my creation, and now I have no say in anything that Oswald does. And he's like, okay, now it's time to go back to the drawing board. And he created Mickey Mouse.
Mortimer Mouse.
He created Mortimer Mouse. And then thankfully you have to listen to your loved ones, right? And then she told him,
Lillian. It was all
change
Lillian.
that name, because
She
Mortimer
changed
is the
name.
worst name in the world. If we
And
have any
he's like the
listeners
villain
named
mouse now.
Mortimer, I'm very sorry.
I don't think
a
it's a
really
common
beautiful name
name.
when it's for you. But yeah, and then he created Mickey Mouse. And imagine this. If Oswald never got taken away from him, he could have found moderate success. Could have been whatever.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been, as it is today.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine that. I mean, I know I like Oswald, but Mickey is so much more endearing. And so just the thing of, there's going to be times that something doesn't look good. Keep your head up. There's always more and more beautiful things to come. But
it.
just like the Great Depression, that was one thing that I noted here too, was while, families were working and trying to get money and all this stuff, it showed actual footage of these kids. The cheapest thing that they could do for entertainment was go to the movie house, and they would go and they would just see Mickey. And that was like the kind of the alleviation of that depression, where they just got to hang out as kids and see those old Mickey Mouse cartoons in person. And
just kind of step away from like the sadness of how life was. It was like Mickey was just like this joy that people could find. And yeah, especially for kids back then, like it just breaks my heart to think of what they had to go through. But the fact that Mickey was there through it and could help them just kind of like escape from reality is such a beautiful thing. And the same thing with war. I mean, there's a segment in there about something that happened in Poland, and it was kind of a heartbreaking story, but you just have to go and listen to it. But yeah, it's crazy to think that even in other countries, when things were going on years and years ago, it was Mickey. There was Mickey everywhere that brought joy to people.
Yeah, it's so crazy. And then like the other note I had here was just there was such a big Walt and Mickey connection. And one of the reasons we always hear the story of one of the reasons that Walt wanted to build the park, Disneyland, was because he wanted a place where parents and kids can have fun together. But another reason that they talked about in this documentary was that he had this desire to have people meet Mickey in real life. So he was like, if someone could, he saw the hope that Mickey provided to people. And he was like, if we had a place where people could actually meet Mickey, that's just like the best thing ever. And and also some other people were talking about like, you're almost meeting Walt in a way because they were so tied together, but you're meeting Walt in the persona of Mickey. And one of the quotes was, Mickey is a walking embodiment of Walt's philosophies. So, like with Walt, he had so much imagination. He was all about creation and all this stuff. And with Mickey, you know, it makes you feel like a kid again when you're with him. You almost feel that sense of imagination that Walt had throughout his life. You almost feel that creativity kind of flowing through Mickey, and you feel young at heart again when you're with Mickey. And so it almost is that philosophy of Walt and staying young and doing things that people said you can't, having the courage to do the impossible, all that stuff kind of is embodied in Mickey. And so
Yep. It's beautiful.
very thankful for the Mick.
We are very thankful for Mickey, and we always will be. And he's such a huge part of the reason that we love Disney so much. He's integral to our love of Disney. So if you have not watched that documentary, just go watch it. If you just need to be thankful for Mickey and Disney, it'll do that for you.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But on that note, I know we kind of got into some deeper stuff on these last few, but to end it off, we're just really thankful for the trips that we got to take. We took 2 this year and 1 late last year, all with our son, and all just so special in their own way. Just really fun trips and lots of memories made. So we're just really thankful that we got to do that. Obviously, we look forward to so many more to come, but we just had some really magical trips the last few times. It just seems to get better with our son each time we go. It's more and more magical watching it through his eyes. So I'm just thankful to have those memories with him.
Yeah. And then personal wise, like so thankful for health, so thankful for family, friends, who all love us and we get to see, and thankful, you know,
we have
a job, we have a home. I mean, there's so much to be thankful for.
And those little things never go unnoticed. I mean, I think about people that are suffering around the world or don't have a home or don't have a way to provide for their families. And I'm always reminded of how privileged we are to have what we have. So very, very thankful for that.
Yeah. With that, I guess we already said this, but once again, very thankful for everyone listening. A little early Thanksgiving episode, right?
Yeah, it came out a few days early, which is fun. Thanksgiving, I think when this comes out, will be tomorrow. So hopefully you all have wonderful Thanksgivings. Enjoy time with your loved ones. Eat some good food and reflect on all the things you're thankful for.
Yeah.
So we will be back next week. Should be back with Market House.
Yes.
So we're so excited for that episode. Check back in for that. And we'll see you then, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Bye.